Yeah, Ed, can you come up here? I'm talking to Ed again. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning.
So you're probably still fine on the end. I forgot. I don't know. Let's play it by ear because I'm just thinking there's two sopranos, so I'm just kind of gearing it here. I guess we'll see. And Julie hasn't come, so I guess Julie will be here. So, well, you never know. Sometimes she'll just show up at the end. Made sure I wore extra sweater and outfit because so put on some long johns under my pants. I knew my legs were good. Yeah, I got all the sizes. Here, they're great. Well, I guess we don't need a while you cry.
Hey, dude, Judy. So your puppy cried when I left her. I heard her crying. I hope she stops. I think she will.
They have to go.
I just adopted a rescue.
That's the one I think you should.
Yeah. And I think she got left out by the trees.
Yeah, you're right. I don't recognize it.
What's that?
And it was no, what's in it? It might be mine. Let's take a look. Something good. Thank you so much. Because she's not a puppy, right?
No, she's 12. She's 12 months. 12 to 14 months old. We're not exactly sure.
She'll get used.
She will.
She'll find out. It's
Then
not
after
gonna be
we'll come
gone.
back.
Yeah, they're not going to be gone all the time.
And I'm not going for hours and hours.
Right.
You know, maybe 2 hours, maybe
Right.
3, but not all day. She was left outside. That's why his mother took the dog from him.
Oh, is that what happened?
His mother owns the company that my daughter manages up in North Carolina, and she also has an animal rescue. So she said, I hate to ask you to do this, but this dog needs a different home. I've got 3 dogs and 2 cats. I can't a picture.
Was he agreeable to that?
Well, I said something weird about that. I said, I can't believe he let this girl do that. You really must not care about the doctor. She goes, well, you don't know his mother.
Right.
So maybe.
I thought maybe he just voluntarily said,
Yeah, but she didn't live up to his expectations. He was thinking he was getting a hunting dog. She was part of the dog. So he was going to try to, and she's not.
but even so,
I know.
you know, you just don't.
Anyway, but I'm going, so my daughter's coming down to next week. I'm shopping for a house somewhere or another in Savannah. She can rent my little in the winter and rent out in the summer. She doesn't have a rest so we've got a list of houses that we look at. So which would be really nice. And then she's flying to Mexico for some conference that she had. So she's leaving her 2 dogs with me. So I'm going to have 3 dogs. And then,
Do you know if your dog?
yeah, because she's already met them. She's already met them because I picked her up there.
I was just wondering what her social life would be. I mean, if she was just like
She's
by
been around,
herself.
she's around that other family. The 3 dogs and 2 cats. She's good with dogs, good with cats, good with kids. So she'd have to be all those things to be my son. And, but then they're going to go, so I'm going to have dogs for like next week. And then when she goes back, she's taking she's taking me with her because I'm flying out to like the Thursday after Martin Luther King Day for my trip, my annual trip with my friend doing Budapest.
How long will you be gone?
A week.
Oh, okay.
But by the time, you know, I'm meeting my friends in Florida, we're flying together from Orlando, you know, by the time we get to well, Sheila did Barcelona last year. And then a few years ago we did Venice, Indiana. And we did all in the same tour company. We did Dublin to Dublin. That was great. So we're excited. And she and I travel with it. We each do the single sucker. We don't sleep together because we love each other. And I'm up and out early in the morning when she's at the bar late at night. Hey, how are you? Yeah, we've traveled together well. We've been friends for years.
When we got there, we didn't have it.
So, but I'm gonna miss it.
I even showed the form picture. So it was last Thursday, 6 recent calls, you know. So they found a ticket.
It's funny how
I think it's John. John in there.
She said, I just so much.
The bag. He's trying to find the desk.
We had a wonderful time and then went home and had some champagne and watched.
Where did he find it? Where was it found?
He's the one who's out of
I
control.
wonder where they found it.
Yeah. It's like
I just thought, I imagine a little practice
like 3 years
yeah,
ago.
that's what I imagined too, but clearly we jumped to a conclusion.
And next year, 2 years ago, neither of them drank. There was no alcohol. And Jen and I 2 years ago were like, this is no fun.
Right? It starts getting warming up.
Well,
So 1 year ago,
yeah.
they had the drink.
Typically, it's just that.
There was no criticism. And then this year,
Alan
they
used to
didn't
be
have,
in the back.
he was criticizing the down there. And Anderson kept going, no, we're not going there. We're not going there.
There used to be, you could count on them being around, like all the freezing temperature.
So we'll see whether next year is going to be.
Yeah, let's see about that. So anyway, you were saying, I mean, you
were like, this is no fun.
I hope it'll be.
I hope my daughter finds something, but then I have to learn about gardening in the South. Because I was a big gardener in the It's a different, different everything.
Different zone.
Yeah, yeah. I have a dear friend who's a tree a rosemary. Very old one's got this big. And she has a rosemary.
You know, I'm playing with the rosemary. Because where I had them at the bed, I wasn't planning on it. And I didn't
I do
know.
have her rosemary. It's like a cycle of piano. It's like, you can't even really get to it. Who knows what's going on in there?
I love it. I just love her.
But my poor little kid, you know? I pay too much attention. My youngest daughter just went back during COVID, got her master's in education, and she's got her first teaching job, 8th grade teacher. And she's so proud. She's been in business for years. Yeah.
It's definitely, we're trying to find the owner. Yeah. That's a very good idea. No, we still haven't had.
So, since you teach Spanish, that means you're fluent in Spanish. So you're the person to go to Barcelona.
Spain, it's like a different.
Different than
I mean, I get along. I get along.
David's been trying to find
Right.
people.
But yeah,
It's
they're
so
actually
happy.
sometimes
the structure.
yeah. There's a few little grammatical things that are different, but I think
So we're talking 1970s. And she'd taken French in Fairfield, kind of Connecticut.
Good morning. Good morning. And this being the first Sunday we are gathered together in the new year, may I wish everyone a happy and healthy 2025. I'm Dorothy Holmes, and I'll be serving as worship associate today. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. Our much appreciated minister, Rev Lisa Doege, is our worship leader today, this morning. Our worship, religious education, and covenant group theme for January is the practice of story. Here at the UU Church of Savannah, we are working to build a diverse, multicultural, and beloved community. We celebrate the presence and participation of people of all races, genders, sexual orientations, abilities, and ethnic and national origins. We warmly welcome you on YouTube and here in the sanctuary, whoever you know yourself to be and wherever you are on your journey. If you're visiting with us this morning and you would like to introduce yourself, please rise or raise your hand. Our usher, Jane Rago, will bring a microphone to you. As part of our commitment to accessibility, we use microphones whenever anyone speaks so that everyone in the sanctuary and watching on YouTube can hear. Are there any visitors on this side of the church?
Good morning. My name is John Stewart. I'm visiting here from the UU Fellowship of Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm checking you guys out today.
Anyone else on this side? And over here on this side of the congregation?
Good morning. I'm Christina Klingbeil. I worship at the Schenectady, New York congregation, and I'm just south to come. I was hoping to get warm weather, but it didn't quite work out.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Hi, we're Sean, Melissa, and Gregory Strudgeon, and we live here in Savannah, and we are doing the same. We're checking you out, so thanks.
Checking, is it? Let us know how we check out, okay? If you are looking for a new faith community, we encourage you to visit several times to get a feel for our worship style and our approach to matters of faith and religion. It is good to have all of you with us. Please join us in Ron Hall for refreshments following the service. You'll find Ron Hall in the next building by following the crowd through this door over here, or the main doors, or ask an usher. After the story for all ages and after the offering, we sing a short response. The lyrics are printed in the order of service. There are 2 cards in the pew back in front of you to help us gather information for the good of our community. Use the QR code on the Rainbow Chalice card to sign up for our new newsletter and to receive a welcome letter from our minister. Or, if you prefer, fill the card out by hand. The card with the red heart and chalice is there for you to share a joy or sorrow if you wish. If you fill out either of these cards, please put it in the collection plate as it comes around. Church announcements are emailed to members and friends on Tuesdays and Fridays. Check your email for complete details about all of the announcements this week, and as every week there is quite a list of wonderful things, so please forgive me if I don't mention your particular activity or event, but do check out, that's our favorite phrase for the morning, what you find in the newsletter. and I will make the following 3 announcements. In support of the Green Team's effort to foster more plant-based eating, please attend the Vegan Potluck in Ron Hall on January 26. The Music Alliance will be presenting another spectacular concert on next Sunday, January 12th at 3 p.m., with a performance by the Afro-Cuban Gino Castillo Trio. Tickets are available on Eventbrite for $25. Please send a story of 100 words or less about UUCS, a person, an event, a memory, to Rev Lisa by Wednesday, January 8th. Send it to minister@uusavannah.org. Your story may be featured in the January 12th sermon. In any case, it will help enrich Reverend Lisa's appreciation of you and our church. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into sacred time. Our chalice lighter this morning is Katie Halo. The chalice lighting words are taken from Building the Possible by Reverend Scott Taylor. May this flame cast its light towards the coming days, reminding us that the future is not simply a place we are going, but a place we are creating. The path of new possibilities will not be found, but made. A new world is waiting to be built. May our time together light the way.
Welcome to a new story. Welcome to a day unwritten. We gather to speak of possibility. We remember the losses. We celebrate the victories. We embrace the possible over the probable, weaving a story of hope. Join us in the new story. Join us in the day unwritten. Join us in the future of possibility. Let us worship together. Will you rise now in spirit or in body for hymn number 122, Sound Over All Water?
Voices, the past begun.
Time now for our story. Anyone who would like to see the pictures may come forward. Happy New Year. Our story this morning is called The Biggest, Best Snowman. Have any of you ever built a snowman? Yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, Elias has. Have any of you ever been told that you are too small or too young to do something? Yeah. So even if you don't have the experience of building a snowman, there's something in this story for you. Little Nell lived with Big Mama, Big Sarah, and Big Lizzie in a big house in a big snowy woods. Big Mama, Big Sarah, and Big Lizzie had big blustery voices. They had big talky friends. They had big loud parties. When Little Nell asked, "Can I help?" Big Mama, Big Sarah, and Big Lizzie shook their heads. "No, you can't," they said. "You're too small." "Yes, I can," said Little Nell, "and no, I'm not." "No, you can't," they said, "and yes, you are." So Little Nell would go into the big snowy woods. She would sit and watch the snow fall from the sky. She would walk under the bare-branched trees. She would play with her friends, Reindeer, Hare, and Bear Cub. One day, Bear Cub said to Little Nell, "Can you show us how to make a snowman?" "No, I can't," said Little Nell. "I'm too small." "Yes, you can," said the animals, "and no, you're not." "But I'm so small," said Little Nell, "my family won't let me do anything. I could never make a snowman." "How do you know unless you try?" asked Bear Cub. "We'll help you." Little Nell sighed. "Well, maybe," she said. Little Nell got down on her knees. She carefully patted and matted and batted the snow into a tiny ball. She rolled it and rolled it and rolled it to Reindeer. Reindeer nudged it and nudged it and nudged it to Hare. Hare kicked it and kicked it and kicked it to Bear Cub. Bear Cub rolled it and rolled it and rolled it until it stopped, thud, by the edge of a big icy pond. "Now what?" asked Reindeer. "The snowman needs a middle," said Little Nell. "How do we do that?" asked Hare. Little Nell bit her lip. She got down on her knees. She carefully patted and matted and batted another tiny snowball. She rolled it and rolled it to Reindeer. Reindeer nudged it and nudged it to Hare. Hare kicked it and kicked it to Bear Cub. Bear Cub rolled it and rolled it until, thud, it came to a stop. He pushed it on top of the other snowball. "Now what?" he asked. "It needs a head," cried Little Nell. She patted and matted and batted another tiny snowball. Then she rolled it to Reindeer. Reindeer nudged it to Hare. Hare kicked it to Bear Cub. Bear Cub stuck it on top of the other two snowballs. Little Nell and the animals stood back and looked at the snowman. "Something's missing," said Hare. "The face," said Little Nell. "How do we do that?" asked the animals. "I think we'll need help," said Little Nell. She whistled for the birds to come. Crow, cardinal, and sparrow flew down from the trees. "Can you make a face for our snowman?" she asked. Crow fetched 2 pieces of bark for the eyes. Cardinal found an old pink sock for the nose. Sparrow brought raisins for the mouth. Little Nell handed her green scarf to the birds. They wound it and wound it and wound it around the snowman's neck. Then they added 2 sticks for arms. The snowman was finally finished. Little Nell and the animals gazed up at their creation. "Wow," said the animals. "Wow," said Little Nell. It was almost lunchtime. Little Nell said goodbye to her friends. She walked home through the big, snowy woods. Big Mama, Big Sarah, and Big Lizzie were waiting for her. "Where have you been?" they asked in their big, blustery voices. I was building a great big snowman, answered Little Nell. How could someone as little as you build a great big snowman? Asked Big Lizzie. Come and see, said Little Nell. So Big Mama, Big Lizzie, and Big Sarah followed Little Nell through the big snowy woods to the snowman. As they looked up, their mouths dropped open and their arms dropped to their sides. Wow, they said, you built that? Yes, I did, said Little Nell, with the help of my friends. That is the biggest, best snowman ever, said Big Mama. Yes, it is, said Little Nell with a huge smile on her face. Will you come and help us make a big, yummy lunch? Asked Big Sarah. No, she can't, said Big Lizzie. She's too small. Yes, I can, said Little Nell, and no, I'm not. Yes, you can, said Big Mama, and yes, you will. Big Mama gave Little Nell a big sloppy kiss, smooch. Big Sarah gave Little Nell a big squeezy hug, ooch. Big Lizzie stuck her big nose in the air, humph. Little Nell's friends lifted her to the top of the snowman. Hooray. Thank you for being good listeners. We will sing you on your way to religious education.
The world is rife with taking. Too often there is brutal, wanton taking of life, of liberty, of security. I ask you at this time of our offertory to reverse that awful trend radically by giving now as generously as possible for the life-sustaining good works of this church. To donate via debit or credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service, or go to www.savannah.org and click the donate button. Mailed checks are also welcome. Your offering will now be gratefully received. We enter a time to share our joys and sorrows with each other, and there are a few today. I will share one from Heather Kearns, who is part of our live stream congregation on YouTube. She asks us to include her son, Eric, in our kind and hopeful thoughts during his hospitalization, in which he is not doing very well. And there is a joy here that couples with the joy and sorrow that I had prepared. It's from one of our members, Raven Dodd. We lost one of the greatest men of all time last weekend. Jimmy Carter was an inspiration to people all over the world. That is familiar to all of us. And I too am thinking of Jimmy Carter, our 39th president, who left this earthly plane last Sunday. He was such a purposeful man who gave so much to all of us. He transformed himself from his white supremacist roots and confirmed that transformation in great good deeds, including appointment of many people of color and women to the judiciary. A black woman wrongly convicted of murder became his daughter's nanny. His Camp David peace accords have been the longest enduring ones in the Middle East. His humanitarian work led to the near eradication of the guinea worm in Africa and Asia, reducing the numbers from a staggering 3.5 million in the 1980s to 14 in 2023. He created the Department of Education, and I also believe the Department of Energy. He was a man before his time and worked towards drawing energy from renewable sources. We could go on and on. A humble man from Georgia did so much for all of us. May we be forever grateful, and may he rest in peace. Let us hold all our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive reading found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere.
Yet joy is reborn.
As we mourn together,
So we celebrate together
and offer thanks,
that we are not alone.
so may it be now and in all the days to come.
How could anyone
Let us enter into a spirit of meditation. The words of meditation this morning from Jan Christensen. Think of the year as a house, door flung wide in welcome, threshold swept and waiting, a gracious spaciousness opening and offering itself to you. Let it be blessed in every room. Let it be hallowed in every corner. Let every nook be a refuge and every object set to holy use. Let it be here that safety will rest. Let it be here that health will make its home. Let it be here that peace will show its face. Let it be here that love will find its way. Here let the weary come. Let the aching come. Let the lost come. Let the sorrowing come. Here let them find their rest, and let them find their soothing, and let them find their place, and let them find their delight. And may it be in this house of a year that the seasons will spin in beauty. And may it be in these turning days that time will spiral with joy. And may it be that its rooms will fill with ordinary grace, and light will spill from every window to welcome the stranger home. Amen. Happy New Year. I've been trying to figure out why it seems so long since I've stood here, even though I often have a week off, but I guess it's because it was a whole year ago. Our first reading this morning from my colleague, the Reverend Molly Hausch-Gordon, who serves our congregation in Columbia, Missouri. RSVP. It is 2025 and the annual invitation has arrived. Gilded edges on thick paper, stark white, elegant font, folded to belie the ugliness inside. We are invited cordially to re-enroll in Empire's program, to follow its straight path, so straight, that narrows the waist, that narrows the options, that shrinks the possible, the sacred, the vast, the mysterious, the holy, too large to comprehend at last. We are invited kindly to diet, though food is nourishment and warmth, culture, pleasure, love. And speaking of, the pleasure of our company is requested to punish our bodies with brutal movements, though muscles were made to pump with joy, unrestrained and free. Our presence will gladly be received, so everything unruly may be removed, excised, straightened, extracted, or melted away. Every hair, every wrinkle, every roll, anything stray. That is to say, please put on these manacles. Please disappear, get under control. Free bodies? That's probably bad for your soul. We are invited cordially to re-enroll in Empire's program. Our response is eagerly awaited. Our bodies are sacred and powerful and hated. And from Rosemary Watola Tromer, Unresolution. Because after all these years of focusing on the goal as if happiness is a thing I attain or a place I might finally reach, now I thrill when I see through the myth of arrivals. I see where I have grasped and clutched and clawed and scrabbled to be somewhere not where I am. Not that I regret it. The memory of grabbing helps me to feel how beautiful it is each time the hand opens like a morning to what is here. Opens as if the opening itself is what I am here to do. Here in the readings. Will you please rise in spirit or in body for our hymn number 128, For All That Is Our Life.
For all that is our life,
As I begin preaching, I invite you to imagine meme after meme scrolling across 21st century high-tech integrated video screens here in the sanctuary, one over there and one over here. Black text from Lutheran pastor, memoirist, and public theologian Nadia Bowles-Weber on a rainbow-colored background. Yearly reminder, there is no resolution that, if kept, will make you more worthy of love. You, as your actual self, not as some made-up ideal, is already worthy. White text on a black background from novelist Jonathan Edward Durham. Sorry, but January is not the month for resolutions. We're all sick, exhausted, cold, broke, depressed, back at work, and in no mood to commit to anything. January is the month for outrageous Victorian self-care rituals, because who needs a new gym membership when you can just take a good long turn about the parlor to ease your agonies? A ladybug in a stocking hat cuddling a bird on a snowy branch against a white background with black text. Just a little reminder that you don't have to make resolutions or huge decisions or big proclamations. You can just set some sweet intentions and take each day as it comes. White text on a black background. The best New Year's resolution I ever made was to start devouring my nicest things and save no small pleasure for an unspecified future. Now I burn the good candles, wear the expensive perfume at home, scribble imperfectly in pretty notebooks. You can't pin joy like a moth. Bold white text against a rainbow progressive pride flag overlaid with flowers. You are loved. Bold white text against large colorful flowers. You are deserving of rest. They'd be on a loop and keep scrolling by. You as your actual self are already worthy. January is not the month for resolutions. Take each day as it comes. You can't pin joy as a moth. You are loved. You are worthy of rest. Scrolling by without interpretation from me, just there in the periphery of your attention, eliciting a sigh of relief or a scowl of annoyance, comforting or unsettling you. You are worthy. You are loved. You are deserving of rest. Christmas is over, or almost over. Today is, in fact, the 12th day of Christmas. But the tales of the season linger in my mind. Scrooge promising to honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. The Grinch's heart growing through 3 sizes that day. The bitter, grieving father in a nearly forgotten after-school special, bringing a tree at long last into the house without a Christmas tree. The sophisticated, illusionless mother and her mature beyond her years daughter coming to believe that the department store Santa Claus really is Kris Kringle. The winter warlock's icy heart melting when he's given a toy train. One of the recurring themes of Yuletide stories is the magic the season has to soften even the hardest hearts. We surely love the tale, for we write it and read it, tell it and watch it year after year, with only minor changes in character and setting. Over and over again, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, or the rejoicing voices of the Who's down in Whoville, or the generosity and luminous goodness of strangers, offers us the promise of joyful hearts and lives transformed by love for ourselves or those bah humbugging around us. But despite our deep desire, we don't have much faith, it seems, in the power of Christmas magic to change lives in meaningful, lasting ways. So we follow Christmas almost immediately with New Year's, a holiday given over to willfully changing our lives through grit, determination, hard work, and sacrifice. January is no time for resolutions. Set some soft intentions. Save no small pleasure. If Christmas stories are about the miraculous capacity of human hearts to soften, expand, and heal, the stories we begin to tell almost before the sun has set on January 25th are stories about the need to transform human bodies and minds without benefit of miracle or magic or love. Corresponding roughly with the 2nd through 12th days of Christmas, December 26th through January 5th, and slightly beyond before it peters out at varying dates and different years, we exist during this period of time in what I'm naming the season of resolutions. And the stories of this season are harsh. Our bodies aren't fit enough, small enough, buff enough, pure enough. Our habits are too slovenly, lazy, greedy, and wasteful. Our pursuits are too boring, self-centered, routine. Our minds are withering from lack of rigorous study and conversation and surfeit of screen activities. We are too small in mind or body to build great big snowmen or do other wonderful, powerful things. Having identified and enumerated all our particular failures, flaws, and shortcomings, the stories of the season of resolutions, the stories of empire, as Reverend Gordon would say, these stories continue on to identifying and enumerating solutions, demanding unforgiving, rigid solutions, diet plans and exercise routines, word-a-day vocabulary building calendars, page-a-day journaling programs, 6 weeks to a tidier home, clutter purging schedules, chapter-a-week study guide to classic novels or books on social activism, and on and on. I said just now that the stories of the season lists our faults first and then the ways to address or eliminate the faults, but that's not quite right. Actually, the memes and the listicles and the engraved invitations skip right to the plans of action, simply assuming the faults. They wouldn't sell much of whatever they're selling if they came right out and told us in so many words, you're too fat, too greedy, too lazy, too ill-informed. No, in telling us what we should do as the new year unfolds and how we should do it on schedule, like it or not, the creators of these memes and lists and invitations, as the writers of old-fashioned paper magazine articles of yore, depend on us to fill in the backstory ourselves. If we're supposed to diet, exercise, read, purge, write our way to a better self and a brighter future, then we learn to tell ourselves we must not be good enough as we are in this very moment, as we have been up to this very point. We've learned to tell that story about ourselves really well over the years. The resolution-making industry wouldn't be as strong as it is if we hadn't. I'm not generous enough with my time or money. I'm not strong enough. I'm not a good enough housekeeper. I'm not green enough. I'm not a good enough social warrior. Wow, talk about harsh and unforgiving. We don't expect ourselves to act for justice. We expect ourselves to be warriors for justice. But even if we don't use words like warrior when we talk about the other ways we don't measure up, the message is clear. There is enough over here, and there is us over here, and they are far, far, far apart, one from the other. And let's consider the word enough for a moment. In the story of the season of resolutions, justice warrioring aside, we don't set our sights on perfection or optimal or excellence. We set our sights on enough, And even at that, we tell ourselves we fall short. What kind of story is that for us to tell about ourselves year after year, January after January? 2025 is time for us to tell a new story about ourselves, a story in which we are more than enough right now in this very moment. You as your actual self are already worthy. Take each day as it comes. You are loved, you are deserving of rest. I know these memes scrolling across our imaginary screens would elicit some sighs of relief and some defensiveness and irritation, because when I told a few people what I'd be preaching about this morning, those are the reactions I got. Some people are relieved by the prospect of opting out of the traditional not enough story of the season of resolutions. And some people are almost panicked by it. But the world needs to be saved. But I've been eating too much unhealthfully since Thanksgiving. But my body doesn't feel good the way it is. But my spending is out of control. But the world needs to be saved, and so do I. This is the time, and resolutions are the way. That all may be true, except the last sentence. Yes, we need strong, healthy bodies to live our best lives. Yes, we need resilient, robust, interconnected communities of creative, engaged, flexible, vibrant persons for the facing of 2025. And the surest, most sustainable way to achieve both is by turning away from the old story of the season of resolutions and toward a new story, a story that says we are worthy, we are loved, we are deserving of rest. When we know we are worthy, know we are loved, know it to our bones, and without hesitation or doubt, what great and powerful waves of generative energy are released, unfettered by fears of inadequacy, undistracted by profit-driven illusions of perfection that exist anywhere other than us as we are. All that energy available to heal and strengthen bodies as and when they tell us they need strengthening and healing, not according to the artificial schedules of the season of resolutions. All that energy available for study and discussion, coalition building and advocacy, peacemaking and justice creation, according to the needs of the local community and informed by the wisdom of those most affected by the absence of peace and justice. And furthermore, when we know to our bones and without hesitation that we are deserving of rest, then we are less likely to become exhausted or ill or overwhelmed. And when we're not exhausted or ill or overwhelmed, the energy keeps flowing, keeps healing and repairing persons, communities, and the world. I understand that this may sound or feel dangerous or irresponsible with so much at stake. We are embodied beings whose individual survival does depend on proper nutrition and physical activity and a mixed regimen of solitary pursuits and companionship of other beings. Our communities and planet home are almost always poised between the brink of annihilation and a renaissance of repair and new beginnings, and the scale is in our hands. Still, we've been listening to the traditional not enough story of the season of resolutions for a long time now, trying to will and diet and list our ways to better health, stronger communities, a healthier planet, through an emphasis on eliminating and redressing failures and shortcomings and flaws. Where has that story gotten us? Isn't it possible that telling a new story this year, this January, might be no less futile and perhaps a great deal more effective? Yuletide stories offer the promise of hearts transformed by love. This year, may the sequel to those stories be the promise of minds and bodies and communities transformed by the power of deep knowing that we are already worthy, that we are loved, that we are deserving of rest. Amen. Will you please rise in spirit or in body for our hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Just as long as you have breath, go forth telling a new story for all to hear. January is no time for resolutions. Take each day as it comes. Save no small pleasure for some unspecified future. For you are loved. Amen.